So is this resource little icon, or none of the other squares show the resources on there, right? This one I can see them. They're on that plot. These
Right.
spread out to the other plots around it.
So I would venture a guess that there's somebody who has worked out exactly what the pattern or rhyme is to the distribution of resource abundance. But I think it does seem to be like it kind of radiates out. So you're going to have the highest concentration of the highest amount of resources kind of in the center of the cluster, and then as you kind of expand out, they seem to diminish. That specific what you're looking at, that plot that has like, it looks like there's a pit. It's like when I first entered the game, I had no idea what that was. I actually thought it meant that plot was more valuable. I think it seems to be, as of right now, it's nothing more than just a visual indicator that, hey, this plot of land, this is a pit, which means that the surrounding plots also have resources. Beyond that, there's nothing different that you can do with that plot versus the plot next to it that has resources but doesn't look like it has that resource pit on it.
Right. Does the district owner set the price for the plots of land from Casper, the ghost? Who sets the price of the plots of land?
So initially, yeah. So hard-coded, I think that the absolute bare minimum that the first plot in any district can sell for is 200, 220. Well, so let's say Tron, 200, 225 Tron as a plot gets purchased, keeping in mind that every single plot in a 7x7 range around it, so 3 plots in every direction, the price goes up. So you have this world where, there are only a handful of plots that can be purchased in a district for that bare minimum. And by the time, once that first plot is purchased, now everything around it becomes more expensive. So maybe it's now 300 Tron. I think the bare minimum for Tron is, we'll call it 225. And the ability you have as a district owner is to, again, it's a slider, 0% to 100%. And it's like, so if you set it at 100%, it's essentially saying how much above and beyond the 225 that MCP has hard coded do you want to tack on? And there are some reasons why you, as a district owner, would want to keep that number low, but there are also reasons why you would want to bring that up. So as a district owner, if you set that to 0, you actually don't get any money from land sales, which is a really, really tough lesson to learn. But on the counter side, the good thing is the land in your district stays cheaper and more affordable. So you're more likely to draw larger crowds of players. But that also sets the stage for rampant speculation of land, people who are just buying cheap land to flip it. There's pros and cons. On the flip side, you set that slider as high to 100%, and let's say your first plot of land is 350 Tron, only 125 Tron more than what it would have been at 0%. But the problem is every plot of land around it is now going up by a larger amount quicker. So somebody buying, 10 plots of land in an area when your initial price is set to 225 versus 350, that 11th plot in that district that had super, super low initial plot prices might be 6,000 Tron, whereas in the district where they set it for 100%, it could be 13, 14,000 Tron or more. And you can't pull that back, right? So as soon as people start buying land, everything around it becomes more expensive, and you could actually price yourself out where you have a district that the land is just way too expensive. So my district personally, the land is actually a lot more expensive than in many districts, but we've added value. Like we've created all these zones. You can rationalize spending more because the long-term value that you get back from that land should offset the more expensive cost. But if you have a district where there's not a lot going on, somebody's not going to want to spend 10,000 Tron for a plot of land in a dead district, whereas they might be willing to spend 10,000 Tron for a plot of land in my district because there's a lot going on. And the same thing on the Ethereum side too. It's same concept applies. I forget, Ethereum districts haven't opened in a while. They were all released previously, but the same exact thing happened there, where I think the initial price for a plot of land in the very first Ethereum district would have been around like 0.02 or 0.03 Ethereum, and the price would just go up with each plot that's purchased nearby.
Okay. Also, so could you shed some light on, say someone wanted to play this game, right? And we all know everyone is rocking with a different size bankroll. So, what would your recommendations be to someone who, say, I don't know, say they got can you start this game with $100
I think so.
at the
I think so.
the
I
citizen
think
breeding level in renting?
yeah, I think it's actually not so much about the amount of money that you put in. It's about the expectations you have for that money. So you have to be realistic. You have to recognize that, if you have a larger, deeper pocket, you can brute force some things, and you can buy land. You can do a lot of things a lot quicker.
Right,
But
right.
and I would say this is like, I'll make this blanket statement. There are nuances to each economy where it might be more difficult or challenging to start with $100 in Ethereum than Tron. But at its core, I would say no, Ryan. I think you can start the game with $100 for sure.
What would be the
Renting.
best way to start the game? If you had 100 or say 200 or say 500, which route would you go if you had that tier of money versus which route would you go if you had 100,000?
So I think your risk tolerance plays a role in this. But let's just say that this is a person who says, I have $500 and I'm prepared to lose this. I just want to test and learn here. I think the easiest path is in most cases is not buying land and building a building. It's renting. So there's this concept where other players can build buildings and then rent them out for a certain cost each day. And you, as a new player, can come in, you rent the building for pennies on the dollar of what it would cost to build it from scratch, because you don't have to buy the land, you don't have to buy the materials, you don't have to pay the construction costs. You just come in and you pay 0.001 Ethereum per day to use this building. And really all you have to do is rent the building and purchase one, maybe two citizens. And that gets you started so you can produce materials, so that you can try to sell the materials and get a feel for like how viable is this. That's the path of least resistance that says, okay, I can try this game out without putting down a whole bunch of money. And I think what we generally say is, like, especially as we saw Ethereum go up higher and higher, like I think everybody here for the most part believes that Ethereum still has a long way to move, and it has not reached its full potential yet. But
Absolutely.
the more Ethereum grows, the cost of capital is going to increase. The larger the role of rentals are going to play in MCP. So we talk about pricing people out. We don't want Ethereum to go to $10,000 overnight, because now all of a sudden, like, who can afford land? It's just like, obviously there's still people that can purchase land, but it's not necessarily great for mass adoption. But MegaCryptoPolis has this gameplay layer built in there where if you own the land, you can rent the buildings. So even if Ethereum goes to $10,000 and Mega goes to $1,000, you still have the ability to enter the game at a reasonable price. So I think we'll see, as the market appreciates, as Ethereum goes up, as the Mega goes up, you're going to see more and more people start to enter the game using a rental strategy versus buying land and building the building. And then essentially, like, once you've worked up the profits, you can reinvest them into buying land, building a building, all that stuff.
Cool. Saki Balboa also is wondering if your properties can be adorned with lawn decorations.
I think so. I don't know. We'll find
Maybe
out
eventually. Eventually,
yeah.
maybe Balboa. Maybe we'll get there in the future. The game is just now becoming, or not even yet. Right now, it's in a state where it's a top-down view. You can zoom in, zoom out. You can click on the car and follow them around. You'll be able to drive it one day. That's one question, Baba. You think will I be able to drive on the sidewalk and in the grass? Or will it constrict me to the road still?
Yeah, because it constricts you now, right? Yeah. So if you click on one of the cars, you can actually you can control its movement directionally, left, right. Um, I, I think it would be awesome if you do have that that level of a kind of free play where you can drive. What we don't know though is does does that behavior result in the destruction of property? Does a car get damaged? Does a building get damaged? Stuff like that. We don't really know how all of these different assets are going to interact with each other because right now it's a 3D world, but it's still very two-dimensional for us because it's a building on a plot of land that we draw stuff from. We don't actually interact with the map in the same way that we would in the near future.
Okay. Okay. I got to touch on Camacho. What about golf midget NFTs? What about them? They like to make fun of my Baba. Are you a golf fan at all? You're
Dabble. I
okay.
can't watch it. I enjoy playing it.
Okay. Okay. I got on my bookshelf. I have some Masters gnomes that I collected from the Masters tournament. I get golf midget jokes around here all the time, and I don't understand what you mean, Camacho. Golf midget NFTs in MegaCryptoPolis. Is that what you mean? Like on the bookshelf, on the NFT bookshelves that I'm gonna create once once the open world opens up. Balboa, it's an interesting question. Are there opportunities for real life companies to be sponsoring buildings? May I see Monster Energy branded billboards and wall murals in game in the future? Do you think
I think so.
corporations will enter and use metaverses as for advertising? Will Coca-Cola hop in here just so they can advertise Coca-Cola? Something like that. You know what
It's
people
valuable real
advertise
estate with a
wherever eyes
captive
go.
audience. Yeah, I think you're going to see people at advertisements will go wherever the people go, whether that's the virtual world or the real world. It's actually one of the interesting concepts is again with the commercial buildings with selling advertisements. Blue Chip, who plays the game, is actually he's got a whole slew of properties right out in front of the Ethereum main tower, which is like as you think about positioning and the value of land in the future, those would all be super valuable buildings because think about it, if you have the ability to sell advertising space to Coca-Cola or somebody else, that's the first building that you see when you walk out of the main tower. Every single person when they load into the game, they all see that. They walk out the doors, whether it's the demo or the real game, and boom, it's right there. So I think I think you'll see a place where they play a role. I'm sure that the MCP team wants to make sure that just for beautification of the city, every building doesn't have an ad slapped on it. But yeah, I think there's definitely going to be a place for all of that in the game.
Is there a fast way to get back to like the main tower on the map?
Yeah. What are you in Ethereum or Tron right now?
Tron. I'm in your district
Tron.
actually.
Okay. Oh yeah, you are. Yeah. Yeah. Go to the district drop down and select district 258, and that should take you right back to the Tron main tower.
Down 258. Oh, okay. So, boom. All right, and we think this is owned by Justin Sun.
That's hey.
Or we know it's owned by Justin.
It seems a little bit coincidental that the Ethereum tower. Yeah, man. Like I don't know if you remember seeing like what the tower looked like before. Like it did not look like that. It was just this tower, and then they just redid it, and it looks astoundingly beautiful. And it's called Sun Tower. Like
oh yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I bought
this
the
is your
2 plots
first
of land that you
instance of
see right
in-game
now.
advertising.
Yep, right
Sorry
there.
for
The 2
cutting you
plots
off.
of land
Go
you
ahead.
see just to the left of that. So if you're looking straight out the tower, the 2 plots of land that are open right next to it, I purchased a little while back purely when I saw that tower come into existence looking like that.
Smart. Looks like all the stuff around this area is pretty developed, very developed.
Yep.
and not many
And you
not many plots available for purchase. This one though,
and
what's going on with this one, Bob? Why isn't that one scooped up yet?
could be price. Could also be that world is still very intangible to a lot of people. And again, opportunity cost of purchasing a plot of land to buy the tower for 30, 40, 50,000 Tron versus putting that money into building another building in a more affordable place. The risk versus reward might not be there yet. I think that as more information comes out about world, you're going to start to see more and more people scooping up that land, and the land that's already purchased that has all those buildings on them. I have to almost think that that map right outside that tower, what it looks like right after world launches, or even a year after world launches, and what it looks like now are going to be completely different. You're not going to see an industrial building, 1 block away from the tower. It's going to be a custom building. It's going to be a commercial building where you can sell advertisements. People are going to demolish the stuff that's there. The inherent value of that area, the land itself, not so much the building that's on it today.
I got another very important question. Why is this office building so small?
Uh,
Is that just is it? What's going on there? I don't know.
so it's all based on a level, right? So you're going to have
So that's a
the
level
lower
one
the
right
level. Yeah, yep. Every level it gets larger, and then when you get level 1 through level 5 is a building that just needs 1 plot of land. A level 6 building, you actually have to have 2 adjacent plots of land, and you construct 2 level 5 buildings. So you do a level 1, you upgrade all the way to level 5, build another building, upgrade it to level 5. Those 2 level 5 buildings get upgraded and merge into 1 level 6 building, which
Okay.
creates like that start of the skyscraper.
Gotcha. So a level 7 building is called. Is that what it's called? A mega? Do they call those? Because I've seen them referred to as, hey, I just upgraded to a mega, and I'm like, what does that mean exactly?
Yep, you'll see level 7 referred to as mega, level 6 referred to as huge. I actually don't know if that's I forget if that's like a hard-coded labeling game, or if that's just nomenclature that the community has adapted.
Some jargon.
I don't know. Yeah, it came from somewhere. I have a feeling it probably came from the official documentation, if nothing else. And it just kind of stuck. But yeah, huge is level 6, mega is level 7, and level 7 is currently the highest level that a building can be upgraded to.
Any plans on going to level 8? Any heard of anything like that? I'm assuming maybe, but
I sure hope
I
not.
have no idea.
I would be personally pretty upset if the team said level 7 is the cap and you need a 2x2 plot of land for this, and a year from now they said, hey, we have level 8 and it requires a 3x3, because we purchase a 2x2, not a 3x3, for the purposes of eventually building a level 7. And you could have this place where like you build a level 7 and you are completely crunched. You can't buy any more land because you're up against a road. You're up against a neighbor. That would
Okay.
think it's reality. It can happen. It's one of those things that we say like, hey, like I hope that as the developers, create new functionality in the game, that they contemplate like the implications of any of those types of disruptions.
Okay. These cars right here that are at the Block Mart. Will those just stay there, or will those leave randomly and go do stuff?
I think so. In that particular case, those are going to stay there because those are vehicles that somebody has assigned to that building. So when you see a vehicle assigned, what they do is it reduces the amount of stamina that a citizen consumes or loses with each cycle of a collection or what they produce. And since it costs money to restore the stamina of a citizen, the value proposition there is put these cars, like park them in your building, and instead of a citizen losing 50 points of stamina every time you collect, they're going to lose 45 points. So you make up for it. Like it's going to increase your margin. It's going to reduce your overhead expenses a little bit. But Mega World comes around, now you're producing cars that I believe, like we all believe, not just that you can park there, but that you can also drive around in and customize.
And then also the other upgrades on the buildings too. The appliances. We have satellites. What type of appliances are there? Satellites, air conditioning. Air. I'm gonna leave that one to you.
Routers, fire alarms, closed circuit TV cameras, a whole bunch of them. They all essentially do the exact same thing right now, just to various degrees of efficiency. They all improve the overall influence points of your building. And in pretty much every case, the more influence points that your building has, the more productive and efficient it's going to be. So a red satellite adds, a 10% bonus to your influence points. Whereas I don't know if it's a fire alarm, I forget what the base appliance is, it's 1%. So you're going to see like more buildings, especially level 6s and level 7s, are almost always going to have white satellites or red satellites. Whereas other buildings, you might not ever see those there, but you're going to see like air conditioners and fire alarms because they're more cost efficient. And as you upgrade, you actually lose the appliances; they get destroyed. So you don't necessarily want to purchase a red satellite and put it on a level 1 building if you ever plan on upgrading that building beyond level 1.
Gotcha. Now, is upgrading buildings, is it always time constricted, meaning you have to wait to upgrade, or can someone, if you have the funds, can you have a level 7 tonight?
Yep, no timing restrictions on it. There's no timer or cycle upgrades. You upgrade relative to, like, do you have the funds in your wallet, and do you have the materials that are required for that upgrade?
Yeah.
You can knock it out. You build 4 level 1s and upgrade them all to a level 7. The only limitation is, the speed of the network. Is there congestion? How quickly does Matic take the transaction, process it? But no, there's actually a lot of cases where you'll see a player start to build a building, not put any citizens in it, and just overnight it goes from nothing to a level 7. In some cases, it actually doesn't make a ton of sense to build like a level 1, level 2, upgrade it to level 3, staff it. It's more of like players accumulate and then just do the upgrade all in one go sometimes.
Gotcha. That's what I was wondering. I was like, well, maybe people just come in. Would it be beneficial? Come in and just buy up a whole bunch, or build a whole bunch of level 7s all right next to each other, a whole bunch of megas right next to each other, and then just farm for the next 10 years. Is that? I feel like that's how the whales would be doing it.
Yeah, I mean, when you purchase a whole bunch of land around, your own lands, like these compounds, it gives you the ability to ensure that you're protecting your most precious buildings, right? So you don't want to build a residential building and then have somebody come in and build an industrial building right next door, because it just demolishes the effectiveness of your residential building. So if you buy up more land and you have this little compound, you can kind of ensure that you're insulating each building effectively, but it's also super, super expensive. So more often than not, what you'll see is the average player will purchase a plot of land or several plots all next to each other, but in a relatively unpopulated area, just because it's cheaper. But you will find across the map, especially like where you're looking at here, you've got players who will build a giant office building and then purchase like 12 or more plots around it and just build a whole bunch of level 1 residentials. Because by building those residentials, it actually increases the effectiveness of the office building, and you end up getting more money from your office. So there's an opportunity cost of using the land for anything other than those residentials, but it boosts your building. You do see that happen a lot.
What else? Any other? Is there a beginner manual for all of this content? I mean, yeah, there. Where is the best place to go for a beginner manual? Just their website, or probably go find it right now.
You can do two things. MCP3D.com, which is the official site. But I would be remiss if I didn't plug that we're building MCPHQ.io, which is a consolidation of all the materials out there on the game. So whether it's an official guide or an unofficial guide that we build and create, you can access it all from our site. So you go there and you can navigate to, like you can open the game from there. You can go to MCP's official documentation. We're building out our own guides. We've got our blog, a whole bunch of content there that essentially, if it's MCP, we better damn well make sure that it's on MCP HQ as well.
You guys have been doing a great job with. I'm glad MCP HQ headquarters, MegaCryptoPolis headquarters came out, and that's being worked on. Very helpful. Explain why you guys had to go do that, make MegaCryptoPolis headquarters, and kind of explain a little bit more about why it's a tool or what it's used for or how it's helpful.
So I think one of the things that's I think most often misunderstood about the MegaCryptoPolis project is folks come in expecting, you talked about this a little bit earlier, expecting something to be handed to them on a silver platter. This is what you do, this is how you make money. When in reality, like if that actually existed, no one would make any money, because it's not supposed to be that simple. You're supposed to innovate and figure something out that nobody previously has figured out to ensure that you're doing something different. So MCP, I think they've created this game, and they want players to go and explore and discover on their own, surface those insights, learn on their own through collaboration, through reverse engineering, contracts and formulas, testing and learning all that stuff. And that's awesome. Like we have a ton of fun doing that stuff, but it can also be a little bit challenging and prohibitive to grow in the community, right? Because you do need players who are just coming to say, I want to build a building and earn some passive income. I don't want to sign in and play this game for 8 hours a day, but like I do want to enjoy the game. If they don't have the bare essentials to say, okay, this is what an office building does, this is what a residential building does, they need that in order to make informed decisions. If you make an informed decision, okay, if I build this, this is what's going to happen, this is what it's going to cost me. You can take accountability for those decisions. And if it goes south, you don't walk away from the game saying, like, this sucks, this is horrible, how could you do this to me, you didn't set me up for success. So I think with us, what we're trying to do is make sure that bit by bit, as the community uncovers all this really interesting and fun game science and mechanics, without giving away a tremendous competitive advantage, we're ensuring that each person that comes in is set up for success and has the ability and the tools to be successful. Whether they are or not, that's up to them. I think that's our responsibility as players, because we've all been in that position of scratching our heads saying, what do I do first? What does this mean? What does that mean? And ultimately, when I started, I had, Blue Chip and Bitcoin Baller, who are two huge players in the game. They helped me out in ways that I'll never be able to repay them. They got me started. They made sure that I did not make any mistakes, and that the mistakes that I made were contained, and didn't leave me wanting to leave the game. So I think for us, MCPHQ is the culmination of all of those partnerships that have taken place over the last 3 years, saying we came first, but there's so much here that we want to share with other people, because we want you to experience and appreciate the game the same way that we have. So let's help get you started. We're going to share our thoughts, our opinions. Some of it's going to be stuff that we're kind of giving up our secrets a little bit, but it's all for the betterment of the game. The more access to information and data that players have, the more informed decisions they can make. And, ultimately, no one wants to see somebody come in and waste money. I don't succeed because somebody else failed. I succeed in the game because I put energy, effort, or capital into something, and it was a well thought out plan. I don't need somebody else to fail for me to win. And I think that's why we can develop MCPHQ for other players without it necessarily disrupting, the viability of our own operation.
Okay. Got a question from Darmarks 10 minutes ago. What's going to be a hot commodity in the world, according to Baba?
So I have to say, I think it's going to be energy. Everything in the game requires it. You can't collect from an office building. You can't produce a citizen. You can't produce water. You can't do anything in the game where you create something without energy. So it's a finite resource. We talked about the resource plots. They can only be constructed on plots that have one or more resources. So from a scarcity perspective, you have to think that if any one material had the best chance of requiring consistent demand, it's going to be energy. Also, you can think about some of the more complex materials that are going to be, required. Steel. Steel requires massive amounts of other resources to produce. If you want to produce steel from a level 7 steelworks, you need 66,000 energy, 5,500 water, like 140 metal, and I think 45 stone. Just to be able to run a level 7 steelworks, you have to have something like 4 or 5 other mega buildings in place just to be vertically integrated. So you could also see some of those materials as world comes out and people want to build skyscrapers. While there isn't a steel shortage or a concrete shortage today, just the pure demand for those materials in the future, coupled with the fact they are so expensive to build and create and make, and you can only make them in such small supply, you could see a shortage there as well.
Darmarks, any plans on launching a mobile application? Darmarks, actually, it'll load right in a browser in your phone. So there's no need to download any type of application for MegaCryptoPolis. It's a decentralized application distributed peer-to-peer from the blockchain, which loads it directly into your browser without saving any information to your hard drive on your computer or the storage ROM on your phone. So you don't need to download any applications, Darmarks. It loads right in Chrome, right inside of Brave, right inside of Firefox, right inside of Safari, whatever browser you use. It might even load inside of a MetaMask browser. I don't know.
Yeah, I know the mobile application is on their roadmap. I don't think we've seen any timing on it, but I think they view that as a necessity to ensure that even just for like consistency of helping people collect their materials while away from their computer. But players can play on their iPad through a browser. It's
So
pretty similar.
they do plan on maybe a mobile application, a downloadable application. What about for PC? A downloadable application?
I don't know. I'm the wrong person to answer this, but I think that they've talked. That's the question that's been raised, and I think that's what we were trying to figure out with World itself. Like, how is that native to your machine? What's the container for that world? Because with MCP currently being browser based, I'm not sure if they continue with that or if they go a different route. But I think that's a question that's kind of still open and floating around the community right now.
All right, Baba, tell me one interesting thing about MegaCryptoPolis that nobody knows.
Hey, that's a
tough
that
one.
nobody knows.
Yeah, but we're gonna end on this
that's
one.
Really tough. That's really tough. I would say that the thing that very few people know is that what makes the game great is when people collaborate. And we have a lot of people who come into the community and don't ask questions because they think either A, it's a dumb question, or B, they're tipping their hand and showing what their strategy is going to be. When in actuality, there is the ability for us all to build our own thing and thrive without putting another person down. So where other games, like you have to step on somebody else to improve or to grow, that just does not exist with MegaCryptoPolis, but that's not the perception. So the fact that you can succeed and thrive while helping others succeed and thrive is something I think is very, very rare. And for me personally, it's allowed this game to be a game. I didn't come here because I wanted to make Ethereum, Mega, or Tron. I came here because it's this perfect intersection of all the games that I loved growing up coming together in an environment where I can live vicariously through this game in the way that I wish I could live in a real life. I wish that I could build all these buildings. I wish that I could be an energy mogul. I'm not, but you know what? My friends will make fun of me because I say that, like, oh, I sold X amount of energy today or steel, and they laugh. But in all honesty, like it's creating this opportunity for you to be that mogul in a virtual world that you've always wanted to be in the real world. I mean, it's pretty cool.
As do I, and I hope they continue to keep doing a great job with this thing and get this world update out as fast as possible. It would be great. I think there was a question earlier. And what it is? Do we have a ballpark estimate of when World will be releasing? Anything like that?
No, I think Q4 Q1 is the current ETA, but nothing that is that's set in stone just yet.
About 6 months, maybe a little sooner, maybe a little later, but it's on its way.
Yeah, I think the key for them is like World has to crush it. This is something that a lot of people are really intrigued by and looking forward to. So it doesn't make any sense for them to rush out a subpar product. You know, I think what they launch with is going to set the tone for the rest of the project. So I'm excited to see what they come out with, and I hope they continue to do the job they've been doing, where they build things, they iterate, they make sure it works, and they keep on improving on it.
Right on. Camacho, you said they just announced in their Discord that you can build your own NFTs and bring them in game with the world expansion. I think I did hear that before. That it's a cool concept. You can design your own NFTs and then put them in a game world that you can hang out in and play in. I mean, it's a very cool concept. You can design the whole interior of your room. You can open up. What are the pictures of? They look like a Best Buy. In there, selling speakers, selling. Right. This is the way the gaming industry is gonna go. Instead of giving all your money to Epic Games for Fortnite skins, or giving all your money to Activision or whoever makes Call of Duty nowadays, you're giving all your money away. NFTs and blockchain gaming, you're not giving it away anymore. You retain the value of all the fiat dollars that you put inside of that game. And your time also isn't wasted anymore, because you can put your time into games now and be rewarded with some type of monetary reward that might not make you rich, but it's not stealing from. I mean, I'm not saying video game companies are stealing from you right now, but they're getting one over. They're doing pretty good because of everyone, paying. Baba, you said someone $500 for into one game.
Easily.
I don't think I've spent over 100 for one game. There used to be $60. You play the whole thing and then you're done. On to the next one. So this concept of blockchain gaming, man, I love it. I love it. I hope Mega takes off. I don't see how it couldn't. I think we're in the beginning stages of it doing so. But I preach patience over here a lot, Baba, especially when in the crypto market. So I will definitely be incredibly patient with this project. I'll let them keep doing a good job, keep upgrading, keep updating. And I got a feeling in a couple of years, this thing's going to be even, magnitudes better than it is now. So first off, I want to thank you, Baba, for joining the show. Thank you for being my first guest on the show. I want to thank everyone for hanging out and watching. I think we'll probably clip this out, put it on YouTube. What do you think, Baba? Would that be all right with you?
That sounds great. And we have, Ryan, we've got a whole bunch of folks in the community who are all chomping at the bit to share their experience and their gameplay. Everything that we have going on right now, like these are steps that, like, even with like MCPHQ, like, this is all possible. Again, like we talked about, like when I came into the community, like what's required to actually be successful. My like Bitcoin Baller, I think anybody who plays the game knows who he is.
I've heard of him.
Every single, I bet you that almost every single player in the game can stand up and have some story that goes back to him helping out, and it's a great way to show how like the players who came first have paved this path that make it possible and much easier for other players to come in. So I think he'd be a great person for members of the community to talk to. He's been there since the beginning. I've been here for a year and a half. I'm a baby in comparison, and he's a phenomenal resource and asset to the community. And he's co-founder of MCPHQ with me. So we wouldn't have this effort in place if it wasn't for him and folks like him as well.
Awesome. Well, keep it going. You guys are doing a great job. Great job.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. We'll maybe do this again after the next update. Something like that.
Wonderful.
We'll keep in touch for sure.
To be our
Macho.
Thank you.
Thanks for linking us up. Thanks for getting it all going. Everyone, give it up for Baba Yetu, district owner, Tron Network 214. Go check it out. MCP3D.com. Very simple. You don't have to download anything. You don't have to sign up for anything. You just have your MetaMask wallet address is your username and password. Well, your password's your password, but it's as simple as that. You just go to a browser, go to Chrome, mcp3d.com. It loads right up. Check it out. If you hate it, I doubt you will. If you love it, maybe look into grabbing a little bit. You can play. You can start the game. You can play. Start with $100, $200. Start from the ground up. Or you could go in heavy. Whatever you're feeling. But I see very good things for this project in the future, and been nothing but good things since its inception. So no reason for things to go south now. Baba, once again, thank you very much. Everyone, thank you everyone for watching. Thanks for the subs. Thanks for the follows. That's a wrap.
Thank you, Ron.
Episode number 1.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, Baba. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Will do.
Have a good night. All right. I am also going to sign off. Now you guys know all about MegaCryptoPolis. I'm sure we probably could have covered even more. But we'll probably do that on another day. I've been going for way too long today. It's getting late. I'm getting tired. We got what we needed out of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is looking just absolutely beautiful. That red line in the purple range below it is what we needed to pierce directly up and through forcefully, and then come back down hard and stop right on top of it, just like it did. It couldn't be more beautiful. It couldn't be more beautiful. We are in such a good position with Bitcoin right now. You guys can sleep your happy little asses off tonight. You're going to sleep great. I'm very optimistic from here till December on the entire market. So I'm going to sign off. I'm going to go get me some sleep. Zig, thought that was cool stuff. It was a good one. I like that. That was good. Maybe we'll definitely do that again for sure. Boris, I'm gonna wake up I probably will be waking. I've been sleeping through all the Bitcoin pumps lately. It's kind of weird. It's probably to the point where you guys think I'm signing off and then going to pump Bitcoin on my own. But I promise, not. It's just working out that way. Or am I? Maybe I'm Satoshi. Who is Satoshi? I'm not fucking Satoshi. Kimasabi, you're welcome. Creo, Code Warrior, Macho, Good job. Darmarks. Boris. Emmy. Thanks for your sub. McLovin. Love you, brother. What did I miss? Crypto. What did I miss? I know I'm missing. Let's see. Shouting everyone out. Who we got? Code AC. Casper. Creo. Dig. Kazi. Kazi, you missed it. Whatever. We're going to clip it out, put it on YouTube. You can watch it. McLovin. Nightbot. My favorite man. Nightbot. President Mountain Dew Camacho. Yeet Zig. Call me Lou. What's up? Call me Lou. Jesus. Osiris. Anonym. Antony. Jastrazab. Eric Einstein. Balaclava Boris. Balaclava Boris? I never say your first name. I didn't even know it was Balaclava. Marketech, I'm all out of water. But since you paid your... I'm not out of water. I do have a little. I was getting a little parched. It's hard to read off all these names without a hydrate, you know? Oh, you want another one? All right. Cheers. Where'd I end off? Commander Root, Crypto Forge, Currencies Trader, Star Marks, Dr. P, greetings. Enamelings. Filippo Barrio, how we doing, brother? Thanks for stopping in tonight. Good questions, by the way. Star Marks, thanks for the hydrate. Gopley, Gigatronco, what a name. Jafar 218, Jarmore, welcome back. Kimosabi, Curioso 17. What? No, that was the first 17. Was there another 17? I was gonna say there's a lot of 17s in here tonight, but that was the first 17. L Mix, Loki Okie Dope. Loki Okie Dope. Interesting name. Lonely Z, Marketech, thanks for the hydrates, brother. Darmarks, thanks for the hydrates. Max Headroom. M Salinity, Nectarines, Odyssey, Pyromaniac, Raiden's Random Dingus, Ronan Harazi, Skipping School. That's a cool name, Skipping School. Not cool to skip school, but the way you got it spelled, I like it. Could be like the name of a really like a band or something. That's definitely Swan Zox, Tom Toms, V&K, Virga Praz, Water Dog, Weston, Workflows, Zakuvo, Sikus, Zykion. What's up, Zykes? I'm out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Maybe not tomorrow. I got Golf League tomorrow. Probably day off tomorrow. I might throw the 24-hour. I'll probably just leave the 24-hour stream on right now. I'm not gonna shut it down, but I am gonna shut down myself and go to sleep. So thanks again for everything tonight. Go crypto. I'm out of here. Code Warrior. I will buy more golf midgets as soon as I can. Best investment on the market. Look into them. They're called Masters Gnomes, not golf midgets. They all value upward like crazy. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys. Go crypto.